it still burns. All right.
Welcome back to the GSL Codesk. We are having a sick night so far. Classic 2-0 alive, TY 2-0 innovation. These guys showing insane skills tonight.
And GSL 1-0 Artosis because the players are winning on opposite sides of the breakdown of the games.
Does that mean Classic wins here tonight, 2-0 against TY?
I mean, it would seem as if that may perhaps be a portent of things to come, Artosis. Yeah, TY definitely made innovation look a little bit more like bogus in game number 1. And coming up here, or in game number 2, game 3 is on the way, and this means TY has to go up against Classic. Now, Classic looked super-duper good against Alive, but this is another class of Terran player.
Yeah, and a very different style of Terran player as well. That's very important to take into consideration. While both of them are very smart and good at everything, of course, Alive, he likes to mix it up a little bit more, play a more scrappy TVP in a lot of ways. And Classic definitely dismantled him in that previous game. Now, TY is more ready, willing, and able to pull back into those turtley positions if need be. Of course, he can set up all those different types of harass, but if he decides that what he needs to do to win is to defend, he will do so better than anyone.
Well, let's go ahead and get into it. Our first map will once again be Ascension to Iron. It's a new map here, and we already saw a very cool disruptor drop from Classic on this map in game number 1. See if he brings it out again. And for TY, more slow and steady wins the race play. A large mountain to climb for Classic. See if he can do it. Game number 3.
Fight, stand, fight, heaven shall burn. In a cloud of fire we stand. Fight, wings the war, are you ready to fight?
Yeah! Here we go. Our blue Terran player.
Splice, TY.
All right, winning that game versus Innovation. His opponent, our Protoss player, the win over Alive, he is
Classic.
that one guy that's won this league before.
Yeah, that's true. Classic is a champion of the GSL.
Yeah, and an achievement TY has yet to achieve.
Yeah, well, they both won in IEM, although TY is definitely a better IEM, no doubt about that.
Well, TY also just has more money than almost every other StarCraft player because he won WESG, yeah. So, all right, scouting SCV out on the map for TY. What player am I watching? I don't know. He's obviously going down to put it out on third base somewhere. I don't know. But yeah, Probe will get in here, make this a little bit more annoying to build the barracks, and delay an expansion.
Just kind of poking in and seeing what's what at the moment. I'm excited to see if he does do something like Disruptor Drop again. I think you and I were talking about it a little bit, how that natural is kind of big. You can drop the Disruptor on the side of it. There shouldn't be any units really sitting there, so can be an interesting one for the map. But you know, having TY already seen what you've done, kind of it adds it to the list of things that he'll be prepared for. So in a group like this, we have this sick potential for a player like Classic to show us what he's got.
I mean, this is the opportunity. If you get out first in your group, in this group, I don't care which of the 4 players you are, you're the best player.
Yeah, I mean, if he takes down Alive and TY, and this is surely going to be a very Terran-filled top 8, right? We have just too many good Terrans right now.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big deal. And in fact, if Classic gets out in first place, in my opinion, right now, Classic is easily best or second best PvP player in the world. And
yeah, by far.
Stats, someone he destroyed already would be his opponent if he wins this match in the round of 8.
Yeah, and I mean, you still have guys like Heroes kind of challenging that upper echelon of Protoss. But when it comes to Protoss versus Protoss, Classic, number 1 for sure. And this patch might have changed a little bit of that because it did change the way that Tempests work in that matchup. And so we've seen
Void Rays as well.
Yeah. Oh, that's very true.
And I mean, Charge is definitely gaining some popularity in PvP. It's always been used some, but yeah, just throwing that out there as a little side note that Classic's PvP right now definitely is above stats.
Yeah, and if his PvP is good and he's taking out all these sick Terran players too, then I mean, you're almost just starting to see him round out as one of the best players in the world. So
truly that.
All right. So PvT for Classic, what does it look like?
Well, he's going the Robo again. It could be like we saw before, but look at this. This is a very different build from TY. Reactored Cyclones.
Ooh.
Reactored Cyclones. That's really interesting to see. Now, this is like Reactored Cyclones is a funny thing because it's brute force in a lot of ways. You're just like, okay, I want to catch you in such a way that I can just kill you. Now, with a Robo being his tech of choice at the moment, oh, he's going to kill that. Nice. Having that Robo means he can get an Immortal out, which will do very well against something like this.
Yeah, there's no world in which Cyclones will beat Immortals coming out.
And if you have like a Prism with the Immortal, it's like the funniest thing in the whole world. You don't even deal damage to the Immortal. But okay, let's see here. The 2 more Cyclones coming up can catch Classic quite off guard.
Thankfully, there's an Observer, so if there was like a Widow Mine there, then that would be good enough to deal with that. Instead, Stalker's coming out, just picking off these Marines little bit by little. It's going to push TY back until, surprise, 2 more Cyclones show up, and this is something that Classic is probably not expecting.
Ooh, okay, he saves a Mothership Core. That's so important. He has actually another Overcharge as well.
Yeah.
Look at this. He's already set up the 2 Pylons. He made the 3 Stalkers. He's defending this just fantastically.
I mean, 2 more Cyclones are going to come out here any sec. Are they? Okay, no, he's not. He doesn't have any more. I was really worried. If 2 more came in right now, then that's when I start to get a little bit worried. But no, he's just macroing up back at home.
Yeah, and an Immortal is on the way. So even if 2 more were coming out, maybe a Classic is basically countering everything as well as he can at the moment. Oh, this is interesting. A Dark Shrine, not what I was expecting. A hidden Dark Shrine, even.
Yeah. So why is that there?
I'm not 100% sure. He might just have decided, like, okay, I'm gonna go into Dark Shrine from here, see if I can mix it up a little bit. Sometimes when your opponents are aggressive against you early on, a Dark Shrine can be a good counter. If they're not sitting back playing a defensive game, they're less likely to have the turrets up. It's kind of already a more scrappy situation.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes.
What if Classic is also not sure Artosis, and he thinks the only way to beat TY, a player who knows and can deal with everything, is to play against him with a style even he doesn't understand? Well, that's the truly counter logic there by Classic. I mean, maybe it is.
We call you Counter Logic Gaming.
Hey, there you go. I was doing my best to tacitly allude to that, but you just really smacked it down there, Artosis. Thanks. All right, here we go. TY back at home, ready to defend. Classic going to push in. I'm always kind of curious to see where these Dark Templars are going to get woven in at the same time.
Okay. 3 DTs, sends 1 towards the front. There's already a turret there, so not expecting a lot from that DT going to the front, but no turrets in the main base as of yet.
All right, we'll see if we can see the cloak unit coming out there on the ground. All right, well, missile turret will help out with that. 1 being built in that main mineral line. A scan to kill off that DT. Nice. Perfect defense by TY.
Yeah, the 3rd DT trying to get something done here, going after a reactor, always a fun thing to target. Oh, doesn't quite save it either. So these DTs have really failed pretty strongly.
The Observer's just chilling. It's like, oh.
But the DTs have really not done anything here.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to drop another one in there. It's just going to force out scans little bit by little bit. Look at that SCV. Trying to build in a position where he can't get hit, but I don't know, too much damage. Just forcing out scans over and over and over again. It's going to be less resources, maybe less scouting as well.
By the way, let me think for a second, because you were asking me why he went for the Dark Shrine. And I don't know that this is the case, but something has occurred to me. If you go Dark Shrine early on against Terran, you must also make Immortals, or your army doesn't have enough power to live when Terran attacks you. He had already made an Immortal to counter the Cyclones, so you're always going to get a Prism at that point, so maybe that has something to do with it, because he's just sitting here right now making a lot of Immortals, just kind of a strong army. Now, the DTs... That I'm just throwing this out here there as like a possibility is one thing that went through Classic's mind. I'm still very interested in this choice for the DTs because they haven't really been that effective, have they? Right? I mean, he's forced some scans out, but what's he gotten? Like 2-3 SCVs, like a reactor. It's not what you want for 4 or 5 DTs.
Yeah, I mean, look at the units lost tab. It actually looks pretty good for our Terran player, surprisingly enough. Trading very effectively, and oh man, he's actually going to lose that War Prism.
6 snipe.
Yeah, a rare situation in which Cyclones killed an air unit.
Yeah, it happens sometimes.
Now 2 air units have died of all time to Cyclones. Well, there you go. I mean, back at his base, Classic is in a great spot. He's got tons of Immortals coming out. He's stopped production on them right now and is moving back to just massing up gateway units. See what else is on the way. Blink about to finish. This might be an opportunity for Classic to push out and try to put pressure on the third.
Yeah, I think you're definitely right about that. He should be trying to pressure something. And TY, though, he's going to be turtling for a bit because he is actually teching up very, very quickly to range Liberators. A second starport on the way, the Fusion Core almost done. And this is interesting as well. I think that this is mostly based off the fact that there haven't been any Colossus this game. If you're just going on gateway units and Terran turtles hard with Liberators, gets into that range, you're going to be in a pretty good spot, and you don't need your starports for those Vikings.
Right.
So,
Liberator range coming up. Classic, a little bit far forward there. Siege tanks will block that off. Adepts shading in here. Yeah, okay.
More than a few liberation zones.
Good call. That's where you have like the one spasm that costs you your career. You shade all your Adepts in.
Now, this is the situation that I was actually talking about before we started this match, where if TY deems it necessary to turtle, he will turtle like perfectly, and that's what we're seeing here. He's just setting up these massive liberation zones. This is a scary ground army that Classic has teched into, but it doesn't age that well. He has no splash damage yet. This is, I mean, the Immortals are always going to be good, the Stalkers and stuff, but this army overall, this was its window to do something, and if TY was being aggressive, like a lot of players like Alive might be, then I feel like this would work out very well for him. But in this situation now, we're looking at it, TY is taking up to everything he needs. Ranged Liberators and Ghosts against an incoming Psystorm. That Ghost Academy going to be finishing before Psystorm's halfway. Like, this is great for TY.
Yeah, if you could get a refund on building that Templar Archives, that's probably what you want to do right now. TY is just going to have everything he needs to deal with this. Got a couple of medevacs now coming out across the map. It's Classic's positioning, but Classic behind this, getting up a 4th base. TY has already got it up and almost running, trying to build his base and defense it, but that's a lot of Protoss to deal with.
Oh my God, but look at how many liberation zones come up. He does have to lift off that command center for the time being. Some Adepts getting into the 3rd base, but they'll be dealt with pretty quickly. And now there's a very tough situation up for Classic.
Warping and Zealots to try to defend, but there's no way they'll be able to deal with this Bio Ball. TY just has exactly enough to take out the pylons, depower. All right, unpower those cannons, and he would have been able to take out that Nexus if Classic hadn't pulled back his entire army.
And now that Classic has pulled back his entire army, what's TY doing? Moving out with his entire army.
Oh
so many ranged Liberators here.
Oh.
There is not going to be a way to break this. He might just do like a siege on the ramp and drop into the main or something like that. Like, look at this. God, you cannot attack into this.
He's trying to morph an Archon right there. I'm just not going to be able to in time. Pushing forward. If that War Prism gets taken out, oh my God! Am I not correct that had High Templar in it?
I think you're right that had 4 High Templar in it.
It had 4 High Templar,
sure.
all of them juiced up with Storm.
Yeah, that's what it was.
All right, Classic's just dead. Well, that was a pretty good unit kill.
Dude, this was a really good game by TY. He really assessed all these different situations correctly, and nothing worked out against him.
All right, well, trying to get through all those liberation zones, it's not going to be enough. Spoiler alert, guys. It will play out, but it's not going to look pretty. This is that I don't know. This is just looking really ugly. Shading all the Adepts right into the Liberators. They don't care.
Oh, man. Just keep moving these Liberators around. There's no starport units out at all to even try to take these down. 4 Liberators at a time with range. This gateway-based army is just completely impotent.
Why is Classic's charge upgrade not moving?
It's probably an unpowered Twilight
that's right.
Council.
It is an unpowered Twilight Council. You are exactly right, Artosis. And yeah, just moving these Liberators everywhere he wants to. Nothing on the ground will survive. GG! TY takes game number 1 against Classic.
Yeah, okay, so a lot of this game does go back to that failed DT tech, right? Because he went into the DTs and really got very little damage on that. Is a big investment. That's like all your early game gas going into that, right? It's going to slow down splash damage. It's going to slow down upgrades in a lot of ways. I liked how he came out of it with the Adept Immortal-based army so that he actually could fight. But TY just identifies what's going on. He's like, well, I mean, if you just have to make these gateway units so I can use my starports to make a bunch of Liberators, then what are you going to do? And Classic just didn't really have the answer for that.
Yeah, I mean, it's like watching the upper echelon of like chess players play, where they don't just see 2 or 3 moves ahead, but way into the future, think, okay, well, your DT tech isn't working. Behind that, you're probably going to have these units. I'm just going to have these units, and eventually this will be way more than you can deal with. Perfect job sniping that Warp Prism at the end with all the High Templar and Storm.
Important. If he gets good 4 or 5 storms off, then that can change
totally
things around.
Well, here we go, guys. Getting into our second map. One of these players will advance to the next round of the GSL Code S TY1 win away Classic. Can he bring it back? Let's go, guys. Game number 2. It's coming up.
In a cloud of fire we stand. Fight, wings the war. Are you ready to fight?
Proxima Station is the map. Our blue Terran player, he is
Splice TY.
Just playing like a god tonight. Outclassing the entire group thus far.
You tried Dark Templars? No, shut down. You tried High Templars? No, can't do that either. Oh, my God. On top of everything. His opponent, he is
Classic.
And Classic is playing really well tonight. His DT drop didn't do a lot of damage, but he played a good game. He had like good follow-ups to it. His defense was right on against the Cyclone pressure. I can't really fault anything that he's done so far tonight. And of course, his games versus Alive were magnificent.
You know, a lot of times Artosis, especially for our casual viewers, maybe they don't play a lot of ladder, maybe they're more or single player kind of guys. They watch these games. It's like, okay, well, one guy tried a strategy, it didn't work. This other guy defended it. Well, what they don't see is that against almost every other player, and especially like lesser players or players on the ladder, that just wins. Like there's some situations in which TY goes forward that the reactor cyclones, and he just gets too much damage done. You're like, oh wow, I just lost to that. Wow.
Okay, this is actually a really good point that you bring up, and in fact, I think the other Terran players that are really good. Okay, of course, the other horsemen like Byun, Maru,
Gumiho.
Gumiho, I think, is probably the closest to TY out of all of them, although not exactly the same. But
yeah.
Like, let's say that was Alive in that game, and the DT drops fail. Hey, guys. Welcome to the studio. I hope that you're enjoying. It's a good day of games. Not about that.
All you're missing is
Andy, you got owned, bro. Oh, sick.
Ooh. Sick burn, man.
Yeah. Andy's wishing he was here right now, but he's not. Okay, so I just want to jump back to that, right? When the DT drop fails, I was talking about how you need to make Immortals because the bio attack follow-up will generally just kill you. Because DT, you put so much money into it, and then you just have like this kind of weaker gateway army. So that's why Classic was making a lot of Immortals at that point. Now, I think a lot of the other Terrans, after those DTs fail as hard as they did against TY, are going to be like, okay, let's start putting pressure on him, right? Let's start dropping a little bit and getting a nice ball of units together, see if we can maybe kill a base, that type of thing, or kill off the army. And against that, Classic's going to do a lot better, right?
Yeah.
But that is where TY's magnificence shows up. And he says, okay, while I could take this strategically viable thing of putting on pressure after the failed DT drops, right? It's obvious he doesn't have, like, Phoenixes to stop my drops, and it's obvious that my ground army will do fine against him, even though he's kind of trying to counter that. TY instead jumps up that next level and says, if I defend perfectly right now against all these Adepts and go into Ranged Liberators, he will have nothing against that.
Yeah, you know, there's a word for that. It's called turbulence.
Turbulence?
Yeah,
Tell me about this word.
The word. So, if you guys have ever watched A Knight's Tale, Chaucer introduces the main character using that word. A
Knight's Tale. You mean the Heath Ledger movie, right?
Yeah.
So, that's a great movie. I love
any word Chaucer says is one you should learn, period.
Is Chaucer that guy that's really good with words?
Yeah. He wrote a few books, some plays and stuff. So it is an...
Are we talking about the same movie?
Yeah, Chaucer. Yeah. So the word is turbulence. It is an explosion of persona, namely an action that illustrates the quintessential nature of a person.
Wow.
Yeah. So if you do something that is just so you and so awe-inspiring, and you revel, you bask in the moment, that's what it is. And I think when TY makes decisions like that, that is just such a cool indication of why he is as good as he is, and exactly how he is that good.
I love the word. Thank you, Rapid.
There you go.
Thank you for that.
That's your word for the day.
All right, so
kids, go tell your parents you learned something. GSL is an educational show.
Yes, it is.
It's going to be on PBS any second now.
Well, oh man, I love this game.
It's just
that was
so
very
good.
turbulent of me to say that.
Indeed, it is.
Okay, so opening up with these Oracles, he's done a lot of damage with them against TY so far, and this was a very fast command center from TY into this 3-racks play. Not a bad strategy, but the Oracles definitely did more than you want them to do. 9 SCV kills.
Not something you really want to deal with. So for we actually saw this in game number 1 that Classic played against Alive. He was able to get in there and get a lot of value out of his Oracle play. But, I mean, this is TY, so it's going to be interesting to see, because he's playing that, more aggressive out-on-the-map kind of style. A lot of Marines now pushing over towards this third base, designed to shut down, like I was talking about earlier, these fast third base next side.
Wow. Takes the risk right there and nails it. So much damage being dealt. Getting out that Mothership Core as well as a Sentry.
All right, well, Classic did defend pretty well. Got a panic overcharge, which will stop more Marines from coming in, but he does have enough Stalkers warped in to save that third.
Wow, the Marines going to come back as they chase everything out.
Oh, my God.
This is such a smart move. TY left these Marines for a situation like this, getting some more probes to go down.
Yeah, he's actually going to send those probes in a little bit early, and Classic will lose a few more of them. Wow, that is really insane pressure. Dealt with very well, and now TY is the one that's taken out a big chunk of Classic's economy.
Yeah, that was a calculated risk right there, and it worked greatly, I would say. Nice move coming out of TY, who is trying to take his third base. This Oracle still being active on the map. Glaives on the way right now, but reactored Widow Mines for TY.
For TY, you can... the cool thing for me when I was in early math class, you can take a calculator and write a number on it, turn it upside down, and it spells a word.
Like 58008.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
You're in 7th grade, Artosis. TY
pull my finger glasses.
Types in a number, turns the calculator upside down, and it says, "Do this build and win." And it's like, oh, okay. Like, okay, well, if we were all so lucky. Some people have Death Notes. TY's got the upside down calculator. It gives him his builds.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how good he is, man. That's how he comes up with all this stuff. He has the GSL paparazzi following around. It's like, how is he just this good? We have to find out. He does that. They're just like, there's no way. We can't deal with this. He's too good. Well, here comes Warp Prism pressure. He's going to drop some Adepts. Get a big warp in. Wow, that is a lot of Adepts now inside TY's natural. Or main.
Yeah, he stims up to try to deal with this right away, but a decent amount of SCVs already going down. That shade finishes. Marines are waiting for these Adepts, but they continue to target down as much as they can.
Yeah, a lot of army invested, but decent amount of harassment done. A little bit of an anti-timing there. Glaives was about to finish. I feel like if you wait and do that right after Glaives finishes, you can maybe even take out one of those chunks of Marines.
Yeah, that's a possibility. He did have the +1, I guess, so that's good. 9 SCVs, not too bad. He's teching up at this point.
Yeah, going into fast charge here.
Yeah, he is, actually. Look at that. Okay, so he went Glaives into Charge. That's actually something that Classic has done a lot in the past, opening up with those Glaives just because like early game Adepts will do a bit better, and as you get a bigger and bigger economy, the Zealots can overrun positions, but very cool to see. Also a tech switch into Colossus as well as that 4th base for Classic.
Oh, Widowmine position. Is it in range to lock on? No. Just
Close.
barely.
Very, very close right there. There's a couple Vikings out on the map, so he's going to be able to get this Prism, I think.
Yeah, and even though he will be able to drop off those Adepts, nothing is making it out of here alive, and he's, most importantly, kept that Widowmine there. Okay, it's still not in range. Never mind.
You see that, too? He, like, kind of squeezed it up a little bit.
War Prism Driver clenches right as he runs by there. Oh, my God. All right, well,
he was on the top of his chair that that time.
On, as they say, Artosis, the edge of his seat.
Ooh. Did you make that up yourself?
Learned it this morning, man.
Jeez. Did Chaucer say that?
He would have if he were still alive, and also Methuselah. I don't know. Well, Classic does get a decent amount of harassment done. He saved his 3rd base earlier and is now erecting a 4th.
This is cool. The Colossus is on the way, and he's actually going towards Tempest Tech, it looks like. So this, to me, screams that Classic is ready to play like a very, very long game here. Look at his spread right now. It looks like he has an observer over on the left-hand side to see drops. He's got double pylons on the bottom right to see drops coming in. He's got that 4th base. It's kind of far away, but he's making a very good army. A little bit late on Thermal Lance is the one thing we can say. It looks like he forgot to start that until just now.
Got these Hall's lozenges, which are also vitamin C drops.
Yeah? Wow.
Something I have in common with Classic.
Vitamin C drops?
He has
Vitamin A drops, more like it.
He has observers in position to see drops.
Oh.
Making us smarter humans.
I thought we were talking more about the Prism.
Okay, well.
That Prism just got out of there after those drops, just like your joke.
It barely makes it.
It barely made it.
It's that 1 HP Prism.
Yeah. It's still got 2 Adepts in your joke, too. And it's like, oh, my God, you just barely got out of there, Rapid.
It's the hidden potential, Artosis. Somebody eventually will laugh at that. All right. So here come these Charge Zealots, an interesting addition to Classic's mostly Gateway army. But teching up to those
These are some great Liberator Sieges we're watching.
Yeah, I don't know. What is that guarding? Eventually, once that...
He's killing probes down on the planet below.
TY's winning 2 games at once. That planet is another game of StarCraft.
Billowy is down there trying like hell to defend, but he just can't do it.
I thought I was playing against the Zerg, but now they're Liberators. How does that work?
Little did we know Abyssal Reef is down there, but
under the sea. All right, also under this map as well.
Okay, so right now I think he started Tempest and then canceled.
Yeah, he did.
Okay, I did see that right. And
instead, he's going into +2/+2 with Storm on the way.
Yeah, I mean, I prefer this right now. It's not. He got in there and he actually saw that there's Vikings right now and not Tempest. And I mean, you can actually make Tempest against, or not Liberators. Sorry, you can make Tempest against Vikings. It's okay to do that and play that way. But instead, he wants to get those upgrades and that Storm. Definitely, that's something he needs. Like he really needs his Storm to finish up here. But it's getting difficult because there's ghosts out in the map. So that's kind of pointing towards this game being really long like we were talking about before.
Right.
And the Oracle, the cannons, yeah, all this is pointing towards the fact that Classic is prepping to play like a ridiculously long positional game where you have to play a little bit defensively with these High Templars.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing to watch out for this time around is, A, don't lose your High Templars like you did last time, and B, put on more pressure. And you can see Classic going forward, trying to at least delay that 4th base from coming up. Wasn't successful, but he will have a better idea of the army composition that, almost said Tasteless, no, it's TY, has planned against him.
The army composition Tasteless would have would not look quite like this, but would have more Dark Templars in it, I think. So right now, both these guys are kind of giving a lot of respect to each other. You can't truly attack into these comps at this moment. As these Tempests come out and we get like a really great unit comp from Classic, he can slowly but surely push forward and poke into everything, right? Because the Tempest range, like for late game against air, that's really the problem you have, right? Is the Liberators that are sieged up and Vikings that threaten to kill your splash damage. So definitely those Tempests going to help out in that way.
Yeah, and already helping out, picking off anything really that TY sends to harass. One there for defense. I don't know if he's quite committing to building too many of those just yet. But he's perfectly defended this 5th base. It's on the way. It's up. Cannons in defense position, and I don't think he's going to be able to turn those into attack position anytime soon.
Well, these cannons are brilliant, right? Because look at the actual army tabs. It's good that we have the unit tabs up because that's what's important at this point. We don't care what they're making. They're making everything. 14 Vikings in here. So you need to be able to fall back to something like cannons. The way that you can win with this army of TY is like if you kill all that splash damage, bam, you can run them over real quick. But you can't kill it all when you have these cannon walls. Even the ghosts can't quite EMP everything they need to. You can just kind of keep some high templars behind. And if TY ever actually attacks into these cannons, which won't happen anytime soon, like a lot of weird things have to happen for him to truly push that, that's when you can come up and storm everything. So on the same side of it, you can't really attack into TY too well. You're going to have to use a lot of revelations or apocalypses, as Rapid likes to call them. We found out last week on the GSL. Slowly but surely poke everything down.
I like that the Observer, Shine, he's good at games. He's also good at observing because he, as soon as players max out, he doesn't show production tab, he shows the army tab because they can't make any more units.
And in a situation like this, you have to assume they're getting everything, right? Like Ghost Cloak, Liberator Range. These are what you get now, right? Yeah. You just get as many upgrades as you possibly can because the game's going so long.
Yeah.
But yeah, this mass cannon, dude, Classic is playing out of his mind today. He is playing such a good game. Like overall, he lost that last one, but like the fact that he has identified that he's not going to be able to kill TY anytime soon, he puts mass cannons everywhere. This is so smart.
And he's also has an Observer ready to scout out this drop that TY is about to send in. So continuing to build up. This is so sick. Only Protoss can do this. Just build a pylon and then infinity cannons around it. All right.
Totally.
Continuing to push forward. He does have a couple of Tempests here to deal with all of these Vikings, but he doesn't have them with his Colossus. Wow, saves that last one.
Wow, look at TY. He is really trying to find a way in. That Observer sees it, but I don't think Classic actually saw this. He shouldn't even be looking at that mini-map right now. A scan into that natural drops on top of some of this important tech.
Yeah, and there's no cannons there at that base. That's going to get a lot of damage done from just that triple drop. Oh my god, that's going to kill everything there.
Yeah,
he's going to kill the fleet beacon.
He's going to get quite a bit. That's some expensive tech that he's taken out.
Yeah.
Now, Classic is sending back some units, but not everything. He's trying to continue the push.
Huge EMPs. He EMP'd every single High Templar that Classic had right now, and Tempests are not a runaway unit.
No, not as much. But very good EMPs, as you say, still TY flying around trying to harass.
The triple drop annihilated that base. Not completely. He decimated that base. That's exactly what he did, Artosis. He killed off 1/10 of the stuff there. But now, killing off the tech, unpowering that Robo Bay, and this drop's still getting damage done.
Yeah, he's doing a great job with it, getting so much value.
Why are you so good? He's going to kill off every single one of those Zealots.
Dude, this is... like every Terran on Earth, including the other Horsemen, need to study TY more because he's just so smart. The way that he is playing this game, he's set up this super defensible position. He's out there harassing. This is something that you just see from TY all the time in all the matchups. When it gets in the late game, he's trying to get things done while making sure you can't kill him.
10 players out there just changed their race to Terran, Artosis.
As they should. I mean... I love it, man. This is absolutely one of my favorite players to watch every single time.
Every time Artosis gets Blood Boy on the map pool, he thinks about changing to Terran a little bit more too. Oh my god. And look at this. The TY setting up for the hyper late game as well with 3 more orbitals on the way. He's going to start sacking SCVs here.
The Ghost Academies as well, so he's going to start nukes.
Oh, that's the boost upgrade for Medivacs that he has coming up on the way.
Oh, is it? Oh my god. I don't even know the... That's awesome.
Thrusters?
Is that the name of it? Okay.
Something like that.
Yeah, I have no idea, actually. I'm like looking at that like, huh?
TY has 73 SCVs. That's a little too many for this point in the game.
This is actually kind of interesting, the SCV count. If he has enough planetaries, I think he can get away with it for a while, but eventually it'll have to go down some.
All right, well, Classic pushing in, starting to take out one of those orbitals. Continuing to get great, pick-offs with those Vikings, but not overextending.
Yeah, still saying so defensive all over the place. Nukes on the way. Love the fact that he's going for nukes. Can push down some of these cannons because of it.
Yeah. Something tells me that Classic's playing with game sounds, so he will be a little bit more prepared. Sorry, that was a low blow. But, I mean, this is cool that we're going to see nukes coming out here. Great way to deal with these cannon walls.
Not a bad nuke to start, you know. If you get rid of some of these cannons, it only costs 100 for that nuke. And Terran, late game against Protoss, you oftentimes have a lot of extra gas as well. Very marine heavy, or very mineral heavy
mass
matchup.
repair that orbital, or the command center is not going to do it in time. But fighting under all these liberators, I think they're actually going to stay up for quite a while. They do have that extended range. That's not a great place to fight Classic. What are you doing? He's going to lose almost his entire army and possibly his base back home at well.
Well, he kills a base, and it looks like he's going to lose a base. A lot of Zealots being warped in right now to try to deal with this army. That is a lot of Zealots, but it's not quite enough to clear all of this out. TY playing very nicely positionally here, but a ton of damage being done. Defensive nuke going down right now. Will Classic realize it?
Oh my god. Artosis, if he moves those Colossi forward, okay, he's going to cancel the nuke.
He actually killed it. He saw the ghost and killed it off.
All right.
So,
well,
good move by
I think
Classic.
TY's probably pretty glad about that too. Another defensive nuke coming down here.
Oh my god, he's using defensive nukes in a real game, and they're really helping. This is a wonderful day.
I mean, I think Queen said it best, Artosis. Is this real life or is this a fantasy? I don't know. I'm just trapped inside a game that is
this is too good
more
to be
amazing
true.
than anything I have seen at any point lately.
This is really quite a series right now. Like, both these guys are playing out of their mind well. Look at this. Classic's already taken another base down there. He's getting a little bit light on his mining, which is scary indeed, but he killed off one of TY's bases and some of those orbitals, so that's a problem as well.
Yeah, so interesting to see what TY's next move is going to be. Is he always just going to commit to just playing as defensively as possible? Or, I mean, that triple drop went so well for him. I have to imagine he's going to try that again.
He definitely could, like, especially as moves like this come out. If he can drop one of those bases, and I like that little nuke on the mini-map, actually. That's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Okay, kills off the ghost.
That was getting scary. He even has observer speed here to make sure that he can detect everything. Look at that, multiple observers with this army right now.
Tons of storms. They need to make sure those High Templar do not get EMP. They're moving awfully far forward. Oh my god, so many storms going down all over those Vikings. Vikings starting to fall apart.
Too many storms right now, dealing huge amounts of damage. The Vikings still going to work. Not that much anti-air really left over for Classic, and I mean, he's basically only got things that get hit by Vikings.
I mean, whoa, my god, that's too much. Wow. I didn't even see that coming. Wow.
Well, with that many storms hitting, it was just too efficient for Classic, and he had just enough to kill off all the rest of the Vikings, but that was an awesome, truly awesome game. Yeah. And all this after TY lost like 8-9 SCVs to the initial Oracles.
Oh my god, Artosis. We are witnessing greatness every single game here tonight in GSL, and TY versus Classic, an equally impressive set. It's only a best of 3, but now it is down to our final game. Classic, impeccable play there in a very late game PvT situation. TY, maybe a little bit of a chink in his armor. Classic exploiting it very late on, and now coming up, Abyssal Reef.
Yeah, God, I loved that game. That was so good. This game could actually look similar in some ways as well. Like, when TY decides that he can't kill you and he has to go into late game, you have to do what Classic just did, which was go into late game yourself. He got his Sorum, he got all his upgrades, he got the Tempest play, he had the Oracles for tagging and mass cannons. These are things that you actually need in the super late game against someone like TY. So we could see, again, that type of play occur, but Abyssal Reef, it definitely has a different early and mid game than Proxima Station, so a lot of things can go wrong on both sides.
Yeah, it still has that very narrow choke point at the natural, so you can set up to go into a later game. Very defensive play styles on both sides. I think TY sort of shown a predisposition to that. Tried to get that early harassment out, pushing out with that Marine force to take out Classic's third base. Almost did it.
Yeah.
So, lots of plays on both sides, but here we go, our deciding game in this series. One of these players is going to move on into GSL Code S. Will it be TY or Classic? That's the sound every person watching this game is making right now. Our Terran player.
Splice. TY.
Dude, this series is so off the hook. These guys are just on top of their game right now.
What is unreal is that TY just 2-0'd Innovation. I thought that was going to be our best series of the night, but no, Classic has other plans.
Classic.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, guys. I gave his way name before it was announced.
No, look. He's showing like a big range of play. TY is playing... what was that new word?
His turbulence.
He's playing so turbulently tonight.
I'm not even sure you can make an adverb out of that, but you just did it. You're creating language.
Yeah.
More nukes!
And
I love it.
We could see more nukes as well.
Absolutely.
More likely out of TY than anyone else, I guess, in this series. But
I'm pretty sure if at any point in this game we had a nuke that landed on like one of those Hot 6 logos on the map, they would just screen cap that and put it in a commercial instantaneously. I mean, what is a more Korean commercial than a nuke landing on a Hot 6 can?
I mean, it would definitely be better than some of those commercials that are erasing my brain at this point. That we've been playing on Afrika for months and months.
Okay, yeah.
Hi-ya!
Oh, my. Oh, get me out of here. Somehow that sells things, Artosis. This is why I'm not in marketing. Imagine that pitch. All right, guys. Hot 6 executives, sit down. Have I got a commercial for you? Wow. Okay. All right. Last game of the night, as far as these two players are concerned. One of them is going to get out of here. Let's get on the subway home early.
Yeah. I'm looking at this group right now, and I'm like, the way that Classic is playing tonight, because he was the big question mark coming in. We know the other three guys are in really good shape. But Classic is playing so well. I think it's stupid that two of these players don't get to go in the round of 8. It doesn't feel right.
Well, I mean,
I'm against it.
So in SSL, it's a round-robin tournament, right?
Yeah.
So you see every player every week. Maybe that's great for fans. They get to see all of their players, no matter what week it is.
I like it. It's really refreshing.
Yeah, and especially for players that might just lose instantly in the first round of GSL. It gives them a little bit more experience. But in tournaments like this, there is that visceral reality that one of the best players in the world will die tonight here.
Yeah. Yeah.
At GSL Studio, we have trap doors underneath these players' booths. You lose, you die in the game, you die in real life, Artosis.
You lose here, and you're just going to have to, well, maybe you'll be in the SSL, but you're out of GSL for a bit, that's for sure.
In the game of GSL, you win or you die.
Yeah. And to have two of these players go out is like, oh, man.
Yeah,
just everyone is so good in this group.
I saw a poster in an online community that will remain nameless say, I don't know who's going to get out of this group tonight, but as long as Classic gets bodied, I'll feel okay. Well, Classic has other plans. Yeah. Random guy in the chat.
Well,
no.
He's certainly not getting bodied.
No.
He is doing some bodying, though.
Indeed, he is, Artosis, taking it all the way. Game 3, he has taken it farther versus TY than Innovation could.
Yeah, he really has. He played so well. God. I do love Classic, man. He is in top form right now.
Wow. All right. So let's talk about the game a little bit.
Okay.
Early Oracle on the way. It's going to be that for harassment. It worked very well. Classic's Oracle control has been pristine, but there are Widow Mines out. Try to find it.
Yeah, and it's some double Oracle play is occurring, right? So this should probably be a Blink follow-up. Definitely a very popular strategy. Again, big shout out to Deer. He made this build quite a bit ago, and it's just now starting to really catch on with these guys. But will these Oracles get some damage? Because if they don't, and like you saw how much damage they did last game, right? And TY still fights back the way he did. Very impressive. So if he doesn't get any damage, just like the thing is, Oracles are still great scouters, right? Like he does that tag. He basically knows everything about the abilities of TY for the next few minutes. Yeah.
And I really love that decision by Classic. You have a lot of Protoss players that are just like, what is that doing there?
Marina on the mine.
Huh.
He's trying to bait. But what were you saying about the Pros players?
A lot of Protoss players are like, build Oracles are like, okay, Oracle, me do damage, and they run them in there. No, Classic is like, well, maybe this is dangerous. I'm just going to send them in there to scout. So is there a Widow Mine in that mineral line? I don't think so. And
no, it doesn't look like it, but the Viking enough to push him back a little bit. Does a tag as well. 3 SCVs, slows down a couple depots. Good stuff, good stuff.
Yeah, and the Adept will be able to scout a few Marines moving out. That might turn into the Marine force that attempted to take out Classic's third. He has another fast third here, and so he'll need to defend it again.
Now, here we go. I don't think he actually can get any damage done. This was a double Oracle opener, and he had 3 gates before that third Nexus. That's like the 2 things to look at. How many Oracles and how many gates before that third Nexus, and so he shouldn't be able to do it, but this is a feint. He has a double Widow Mine drop hitting elsewhere, so he's trying to catch him off guard here, bring his attention here, and drop mines elsewhere.
Hey, here comes those Widow Mines into the base. We'll see if they are effective. Looks like the answer is no so far. Oh, nice on Burrow. He's going to pick it up. And oh, no, he does 3 Burrow. And that's going to get a couple probes.
Yeah, so he gets 3 probes with this drop. It was a good attempt by TY, but Classic very much on top of things.
TY not content with that. He's loading up another one.
Well, if you can get some of these mine drops in there and do some damage. Looks like a Marine drop this time, though.
Yeah, a few Marines in here. Only 1 Stalker. Looks like more, okay, defending against, the other Widow Mine drop. We didn't see it. It's anticlimax to its maximum. All right, no. The Widow Mine wins.
Yeah, it just barely got underground right there, so a little bit more damage. Oh, my God. Double medevac drop going past all those units.
Yeah, a couple of Zealots there to defend, but it will not be enough. A couple Widow Mines in there. Right as the cannon finishes, it will be canceled.
Uh-oh. He's got to be careful with these probes. Oh, my God. I was afraid there for a moment. That could have gotten really gross.
Every probe in the world just clenched a little bit right there. Could have turned out very different, but a Blink will clean up absolutely everything except
Does he have
rogue
a detection?
medevac.
Okay. He has some oracles there, so
yeah.
Hopefully you can get rid of all those, okay?
Ooh, a sentry's almost cut.
This is some technical stuff we're watching, by the way. It's hard to clean this up quickly.
This is really cool. It's going to take that last medevac out. So TY tries so much, and I wouldn't say that he failed, but everything is cleaned up. So for right now, Classic can sit back, relax, and macro do his hardest content.
Yeah, and I think looking at this situation that we're in, TY probably has to go late game from here because he wasn't really getting damage done. Classic kind of has a good standing army, and TY hasn't really... Like, he doesn't have any sort of timing ready. He is making some siege tanks, so maybe he has some sort of terrain abuse in mind, but I think he has to sit back very turtled and, play one of these long macro games again. Luckily for him, he didn't really take damage this game, even though he hasn't really dealt it yet either. And yeah, he's gonna start that 4th command center. Okay. He's got some good defensive bunkers, siege tanks, stuff like that.
Now this is gonna be really cool to see. Classic is 4 adepts over here, just kind of chilling, waiting to get either shade information, see if that 4th base is on the way, and possibly even shade in, snipe that SCV, and delay it a little bit.
That would be a nice move. He's moving out with the rest of his army right now.
I think this is definitely designed to put pressure on a 4th base if it is coming up. Classic saying, okay, TY, you've been comfortable moving to the late game. If you're trying to do that right now, well, maybe this is pressure that hits at a time he's not prepared.
Yeah, and okay, so he actually stops killing the rocks. Going to walk around this other way, maybe try to get some harassment done. Not sure that he can stop this 4th base. Nice little shade in there, do a little bit of damage. Oh, and now he's going to hit the 4th. Looks like it's... I don't know if he can actually break this.
He's going for it, blinking forward, taking out a couple of the Siege Liberators. The tank will barely go down. Force fields prevent TY from chasing down Classic's army. But he is playing a very dangerous game, possibly the most dangerous game. Shout out to Richard Connell. Big fan.
Okay. I'm missing what's going on here.
Did you never read The Most Dangerous Game?
No.
It's like every 7th grader in the world reads that.
Is it about StarCraft?
I mean, it's a metaphor for StarCraft.
Okay.
About 10 years before it was released, but it was there.
I see. Okay, that makes sense. Maybe I'll read that if I'm ever in 7th grade again.
I mean, your jokes are there, Artosis. All you got to do is join them. So yeah, 4th base delayed for a long time, but now finally Planetary is on the way. Those 2 solitary mules The mining. Oh.
He's making this a little bit scary for TY, but TY is making the planetary, right? And he's getting Liberator range, so he's holding on. Classic, he has the double forge. His 4th base is up. He's going into Colossus tech. The one thing that he really does need to do, though, because TY has, he's once again correctly assessed the situation that he needs to go into the late game, is we need to see Tempest. And that is exactly where Classic's going. As he continues to try the Shades and nothing works, he realizes, okay, we have to go to the late game.
Well, I think he's also predicting that TY is going to do exactly what he's done every other time late games come around, and that is go into these range Liberators. And if you get caught off as Protoss with no way to kill those, then I mean, we saw what it looks like when Classic tries to blink in and kill range Liberators. It's just not going to work.
No, it gets really dirty really quickly. Like, he had maybe that one opportunity, right, to try to snap TY's neck before TY was completely stabilized, and it just did not work out for him. I don't think he lost so much that he's in trouble right now. TY has to stay pretty defensive at the moment, but this is going to turn into one of those crazy macro games again, guys. So spread the word that Classic this is like Morpheus versus Neo right now. I mean, these guys' late game is ridiculous.
Yeah, you make this tweet, somebody reads it like an hour later. Nope, still going on.
Yeah, really.
All right, so at this point, like you said, Classic went out there, tried to pressure TY to stop him from getting into the late macro game, wasn't able to. So now TY is up and running full force. Behind this, Classic is trying to get into Colossi, but he's not going to be prepared well enough to stop what is impeccable range Liberator harass.
Look at this. This is beautiful. He's just denying all the mining over here. Classic's trying to get something done in the meantime. Not going to be able to at the moment, but this is a great way to screw with the economy right now. Classic, who needs his economy because he's trying to switch in a very expensive Tempest.
Yeah, you guys got to buckle your seat. The TY airplane's going to be flying through some turbulence.
Yeah. Some turbulence. Oh my God, you're so great.
Joke was made for a moment like this.
You're too good for this world.
This is what happens when Tasteless isn't here. All right. You research charge for the Zealots, and they move that slowly, guys. That's like about as slow as a prismatically aligned Void Ray. So,
good old concussive shell. That charge is barely not done. Look at this. He's just denying mining for days. Yeah. He's making another planetary. He's going up into Ghost right now, making his own Vikings to try to take down the incoming Tempest as well as the Colossus.
All right, blink forward. I mean, this is... Take notes, guys. This is what it looks like when you try to blink into ranged Liberators. Eventually, you'll kill them, maybe. Ooh. Oh, no. These Colossi way out of position. Picks off one.
TY just gaining value all over the place all game long. But it looks like Classic is kind of stabilized. He has his Tempest out. But as his Viking count grows, TY is going to push him again.
So what the Observer is pointing out there is that all the medevacs got stuck on a map artifact. So they're not with a very, very damaged bio army.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, the bio army actually has... oh, wow, losing... Yeah, so if you look at his bio, it's all very, very injured.
Yeah.
All orange because those medevacs got stuck.
He's got to heal those up before any attacks occur. I don't think he can really get attacked yet. Like, there are some Tempests out, so that is when Protoss can break these types of situations. Love to see an Oracle from Classic. Oh, he does have one. Okay, well, there you go.
As if by command.
Yeah. Well, so he knows what he's doing, man. That's for sure.
And that is exactly what the Oracle is made to do. Get in there, take a hit, dive for the rest of this massive army that Classic's bringing to bear.
Oh, my God. Here we go. He blinks forward right now, picking off a lot of these air units almost completely for free.
Unfortunately, Vikings don't count as massive. Otherwise, they'd be taking a little bit more damage thanks to this patch. Love this inclusion of these Tempests behind Classic's army that will give him the inevitability of pushing through this.
That's right. So that means that TY has to make some sort of move. Okay, he's going to do a little harassment over here. Ooh, the overcharges just barely get out, but he'll continue the harassment. But TY has to make an actual big move against this army. Either he needs to go into a base trade scenario or he needs to jump on top of this.
Here we go, doing exactly that, Artosis, taking out those ranged Liberators and the planetary almost as well. But a perfect pull there, mass repair on that planetary, unable to take down the SCVs, and the planetary stays alive.
Yeah, for the time being. Yeah, Still, though, it bought a lot of time, and he killed off most of the Colossus, and he's actually counterattacking, so we have a little bit of a base trade here, but this is going to go towards TY's favor a bit.
Yeah, TY choosing that exact same moment to make a move as well. Lots of Zealots warped in behind us, but another planetary will fall.
Oh, that's a big mistake. He needed to repair that very badly to buy time. It takes a long time for these units to actually cut through a planetary.
Yep.
But instead, now that the planetaries are gone, Classic starts to gain an advantage here in some ways.
And TY is supply blocked as well. No more reinforcements are coming, and even though Tempests are going to get picked off here, TY is done. He took out a couple bases, and now he's pulling back.
Okay, Classic right now still walking around. Look at these supplies right now. They're just so close to each other.
The Golden Horde, the nomadic SCVs out there on the map.
Oh my God! Well, he's pulled the boys in a certain manner of speaking.
Now the problem
that was some good evasion tactics.
Yeah, I guess he did make all of them survive. If those SCVs were lemmings, we'd be in problem. There's lots of cliffs they could just run over. Little herd of SCVs out there. They're so cute, but they're so useless.
Poor lemmings. They're a very misunderstood animal.
But what a world we have, Artosis, that an animal like that has a purpose in it.
Well, they don't actually, purposefully.
Yeah, they do.
Found out. They
actually,
don't purposefully.
Oh, no, they don't purposely.
They all are just rushing out
cliffs.
and excited.
Yeah. But they have shown that they do affect ecosystems, and if the lemming population is reduced by too much, then it throws everything out of whack and all the animals die.
Wow.
Yeah.
Lemmings,
I thought they were totally useless, but
the cornerstone to
also the first
biosphere.
One of the first PC games I ever played.
Oh yeah, people like Lemmings.
Lemmings was fun back in the day.
Yeah, it's a cool game.
Definitely check it out, guys. If you really want to boot up your DOS box, that's a great addition to it.
Yeah, and a great addition to Classic's army here, and Psystorm finishing up.
Indeed they are, yeah. So every time Classic gets Psystorm, I kind of clench watching that Warp Prism die with all of his High Templar in it in his first game was a little bit traumatic for me.
Yeah, it won't be happening this time.
Nope.
He's actually pulled all of his units, even that single Phoenix that was hunting the medevac very early in the game. That's even in this army. So he's got everything. He's brought everything to bear. The High Templars are so important. There's 3 ghosts out, so EMPs are possible. If he does not hit EMPs, he is going to die, though.
All right. We just take a little bit of a seat back in your seat. You're probably on the edge, and appreciate the greatness of this game. But get back on the edge of your seat, guys, because here we go.
Oh,
big storms under all of TY's Vikings. The Liberators trying to siege, but will it be in time?
Oh my God, those Psystorms are just so strong. TY trying to hold on. He has to pick up and run, though. And that means that this base is going to be killed off very easily. Archon's morphing, giving even more power to Classic's army. He might be advancing in first place out of this group of death.
Oh my God, what am I watching, Artosis? Defending champion Stats is in Classic's group. He bops him, gets out of his group in first place. This is a group with TY and Innovation, and Classic is poised to be the first player out of the group of death.
He is playing just a ridiculously awesome set of PVTs today. 10 days can do wonders if you only have to do a single matchup in them, and he has brought a great level of understanding, making these insanely great late game unit compositions. Well, but I gotta tell you, those Psystorms really did it for him in that last battle.
Artosis, I think it's time to look at the supply and see exactly how far ahead Classic is. He blinks in and takes out TY to advance from Group B in first place.
That was so well played by Classic. And this is a well-deserved first place. This means that he gets to go up against Stats again, who he has already executed previously.
Look at that look on his face. That is a look of everything that he has been doing for the last 10 days paying off.
Yeah, this was really well done. And that was a super close game on Abyssal Reef. If TY had been able to EMP these Psystormers, these High Templars, then he would have been fine there. But those Psystorms blanketed literally everything TY had, took a ton of damage before he got to do that fight.
Yeah, and the Psystorm blanket is a blanket of pain and destruction. And TY, you can see even a shirt over his mouth. He is a little bit agog at what he just witnessed there. Classic just dominating his way to a round of 8.
Yeah. He was a little bit agog.
Indeed, he was our
I like
toast.
it.
죽음의 저도
Alright, interview time with
첫 번째
Classic.
진출자 김도우 선수 만나보겠습니다. 축하드립니다.
We found the
감사합니다.
winner of the group of
와,
death.
정말
Congratulations,
오늘 정말
Classic.
대단한 승부였어요. 먼저
네.
진출 소감부터 들어볼게요.
우선 한 10일
That was a nail-biting series against TY.
됐을 때부터
How do you feel after
계속
that?
연습을 했거든요. 거의 안 쉬면서.
네.
근데 솔직히 좀 연습을 많이 해서
Said, yeah,
걱정도
after
있었지만
the group
자신감도
nominations,
있었는데 이렇게 1위로 진출하게 되어서 너무 좋아요.
네. 와, 마지막 전태환
I
선수의
practiced a
승부.
lot, and
사이오닉
that gave me a lot of confidence for the games today.
했던 역대급 플레이 같은데 어떠세요? 그
Your
폭풍
storms
중에서.
in that last
사실
game,
마지막
those
경기는
were just
진출하라는데
sick.
네.
그 테란 자원주로 다 끊고 이제
Indeed they
유령이 안
were.
나올 것 같아가지고.
You know, the last map actually, I felt like I was losing that game.
그게 정말 신의 한
I think he's right. I think he was losing for a
신의
bit.
한 수에 그동안 썼던 스톰 중에서 가장 역대급
And I
아닌가요?
wasn't even, I didn't even realize that he had prepared the ghosts.
되게
네.
뭉쳐 있어가지고
네.
정말.
But, you know, I had all those high templars and my
정말
storms
시원한
worked really well.
폭풍이었죠. 자, 테란전 처음에는
Yeah, it was a really
좀 다소
thrilling
허무하게
victory,
패배를
Gray says.
했는데
I agree.
2, 3세트 이렇게 명승부를 했습니다. 이 촉평으로 그럼 들어볼게요.
사실 2세트도 진 줄 알았어요.
네.
어떻게
Your
하다
high
보니
templars
이겼는데
didn't really play so well in the first map.
좀 운이 좀 따라줬던 것 같고 그래도
네.
It was a
연습
comeback
많이 한
victory in the
보람을
second and
느낀 것
third.
같아가지고 이제 8강 갔으니까 더 열심히 해서
The second map, I
우승할 수
actually
있도록
almost lost as
네,
well.
오늘 다 테란전만 했죠. 앞서 자신이
Somehow everything
뽑았던 한희석
kind of
선수와의
worked out well, and I kept
테란전도
my focus during the games.
좋았던 경기력만큼이나
And I'm
준비성도
really glad that I
였는데요.
advanced.
확실히 한희석 선수하면 빠른 의료선 견제잖아요.
네.
근데 오히려
Your match against
김도우
Alive,
선수가 이렇게 분위기 드랍으로 흔드는 이런 모습들을 보여줬거든요. 이것도 이
it seems like you were very well
사실
prepared
오늘
for his playing style.
테란전만 하다 보니까 빌드를 여러 개 준비를 했어요.
네.
처음에 이제 준비할 때 굉장히 스트레스를 많이
Honestly,
받고
today I
네.
진짜 되게
only
많이
had Terran
지고
matches.
되게 스트레스를 많이 받았는데
and I prepared various
그래도
builds.
한 일주일 동안 계속 스타토만
She stressed
하루
me out
종일
a lot.
하니까 빌드가
네.
하나씩 생기더라고요.
어.
그래서 오늘 좀 빌드를 좀 만들어 온 게 승리의 요인이었던
And
것
since the
같아요.
group
네,
nomination, all
그렇게
I've done is play
다양한
StarCraft.
빌드들을 오늘 저희가 볼 수가 있었는데요. 제가 아까 경기 전에 미리
And that really
엿들었는데
helped me to prepare a lot of different
분들과
builds.
준비를 하셨더라고요.
아, 예, 제가 이제 원래 신형이
There were a lot
같은
of
조가
cards
아니면
for you to pull out.
신형이라 하면 되는데
Oh, okay, that's what you said.
딱히 테란 중에 친분 있는 선수가 없었어요.
네.
그나마 이제 지훈이랑 몇 게임 하긴 했는데
네.
한 명으로 부족한 것 같아서 제가 그때
So
조지
you're
명식
talking about
끝나자마자
네.
그 성주한테 번호를 따서
오.
제가 원래 좀 번호를
Innovation was
먼저
a
안
close
따거든요.
friend.
네.
원래 먼저 좀 안
So Innovation
알려달라고 안
could help us
하는데
practice.
이번에 너무 급해가지고
But
성주 번호 따고
having all
이제
these strong
전현무
Terrans in the same
선수까지
group,
번호를
it was
따서
hard to
근데
even find
땄어요?
Terrans to
그날은
practice
아니고
against.
이제
네.
또 스타리그 그 다른 경기 갔을 때
네.
So I actually had to ask Maru.
이제 두 명한테 좀 부탁을
But I'm
하면서
not really that close of friends with
연습을
Maru.
많이 해가지고 이긴 것
And
같아서
so, yeah, I
두
also
명한테
had to
고맙다고
ask
하고
Bjorn
싶네요.
for some help.
네. 와, 이렇게 먼저 선뜻 나서지 않는데
And
직접
I
조선
have a lot
선수와
of
변현우 선수의
gratitude
번호를
towards Maru and
땄다.
Bjorn for
이런
helping me out.
적극적으로 준비하시는 모습에
Bjorn's
많은
pretty good at
분들이
beating
김도우
TY
선수를
too,
응원하고
so
있습니다.
gotta have that in common.
자, 이렇게 BSL을 1위를 얻들었잖아요.
네.
There's a lot of fans
사실
that still
아까도
support
스트레스
you.
받았다고 말씀하셨는데 자꾸 이렇게 BSL을 얽히는 거
You
선수들이
just said that
견제하는
you're
거
stressed out a
아닐까요?
lot.
계속 제가 이제 저희 조에 계속
네.
You keep falling into the group of
저번
death.
시즌부터
네.
아 진짜 이번에 떨어지면 또 다음 시즌에 또 당할 수 있겠다.
Because, yeah, I don't know why
잘해서
all the strongest players always end up in my group.
네.
정말 열심히 준비했고 8강 간 김에 정말 잘해서 시드 따서 이제
Now I'm thinking
제가 좀
if
편한
I'm eliminated today,
만들어 보고 싶네요.
you know, maybe
그
that'll
한도
happen to me next time as
풀어냈고
well.
그만큼 우승에도 한
But since
발짝
I
다가서게
advanced,
된
maybe
것
people
같습니다. 자, 이제
will know.
이런 또 이제
Don't
전체
send me
판에
into the
산
group of
많이
death.
쳤던 김대엽 선수를 만날 차례예요.
I can still make it out of these groups.
어떠세요?
That's pretty good advice.
Says the wind toss.
네.
사실 대여비도
So you meet
이제
stats in the
이렇게,
next round.
제가 좀 많이 이겨가지고
아.
아마 걱정을 할 텐데
Yeah, I think it's time for me to get revenge.
재밌는 승부가 될 것 같습니다.
네, 그 재밌는 승부 저희도 기대를
I've won
하도록
against him a lot of
하겠습니다.
times,
자, 그럼 마지막으로
And I
팬분들께
think that
한마디
Stats is probably
해주시죠.
worrying about the next
사실
round.
저번 시즌에 이제
Any last
16강에서
words to you fans?
떨어지게 돼서 굉장히 아쉬웠는데 이번에 정말 준비 많이
Last
했고
season I got eliminated in the round of
8강
16.
갔으니
And
힘들게
it was really disappointing for me.
이제 잘해가지고 우승 한번 할 수 있도록 하겠습니다.
And now that I've made it to the round of 8,
2년 만에 8강 진출 축하드립니다.
now it's my
네,
big
감사합니다.
chance to win the GSL again.
네, 이렇게 정말 좋은
And I'm gonna do my
경기력으로
best
1위
to
진출을
keep
이룬
practicing
김도우
hard and
선수와
showing
이야기
good
나눠봤는데요. 계속해서
And I tell you what,
이벤트 다시 한번
He might be able to win this
안내드리겠습니다.
season. Seriously, he is in that form of shape right now. We just saw him destroy Alive and then back up into crazy long macro games against TY and come out on top. So, like, if you can do that and you've already been destroying everyone PvP, What's to stop you? Well, it's Zerg maybe, but other than that.
I know, right? That's the one matchup we really need to watch out for. And for Classic, I think maybe a lot of people going into this group, if you look at it, saw him towards the bottom, especially if maybe Alive had pulled out better games. But no, he came in perfectly prepared for Alive and then was able to take out TY. And now there's actually a possibility if Innovation maybe trips up a little bit where he gets eliminated from this group and everybody loses their liquid bets. So we'll find out. We're going to have to go a quick commercial break. Alive versus Innovation will be coming up next, so don't go anywhere.